Welcome, Percy. Welcome, Ron.
Hello.
You are set up today. Wow.
I'm ready to go.
Yes, you can see that.
Hey, Percy, how are you?
Hello.
Ron, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Brom. Absolutely great.
What's behind you over there? Is that Nova Scotia?
Yeah, this is Peggy's Cove, one of our favorite places.
Uh-huh.
Wonderful area. We have so many beautiful spots in Canada, well, all around the world, really, right? But
Yes.
we have some beauties.
You know, as Canadians, we don't need to travel too far to enjoy all sorts of different types of terrain and nature and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
right here within
Well, you know,
Canada.
Brom, when my kids were small, our three kids were small, all we could afford to do for vacations was we had a camper trailer, one of those crank up ones.
Oh,
And
okay.
we traveled all over Canada. The kids loved it. And it was less expensive than spending hundreds of dollars in hotels where the kids didn't have much to do. It was a wonderful, wonderful time in our lives.
Tony, how are you doing, Tony?
Good, yeah.
What's different today, Tony?
What's different today? Well,
Yes.
Nikita, I'm studying for exams.
Ooh,
I got 3 exams coming up. I'm going for my law degree,
wow,
so I could sue Brom.
that
I
is
thought it'd be so
ambitious.
I thought that, you know, it's not a good idea to defend yourself in a criminal court system. So
Well, actually,
not good.
Ron, that's a long story. Oh,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
It didn't
Me,
work
a
the last time
criminal?
for you.
Me, a criminal? Come on.
Good morning, Bram.
Welcome,
Oh,
Nazim.
Nazim, how are you? I
I'm
can't see you, Nazim.
unbelievable. You can't see me?
No,
I'm invisible today.
Mm.
you've got superpowers today. And
Wow.
last time as well, because last time I remember you duplicated yourself.
I did?
Yes.
Okay, I'll give you my real self. My true on authentic self. Can you see me now?
We can see you.
Yeah.
You know what's more prominent is that bookcase behind you.
Well, you know, they said there are 2 things that make you great. The people you associate with, like you, Bram, and all the folks in this organization, and the books you read.
And the
So
books you read.
there you go.
Oh, and if you know Tony, that makes you even greater.
I'd add coffee to that list, or
Well,
or
I
tea.
think, is it
Coffee or
Tony's?
tea, you know?
Is it Tony said he want to sue you? I'll come to your defense, Ram. I'll be your defense lawyer.
I don't think insanity is a good defense. Actually, it isn't, because, you know, if a person is declared insane, they're at the mercy of the state. They get locked up forever and ever and ever.
Well, I was once a policeman, and they said ignorance of the law is no excuse. So forget insanity.
Welcome, Neela.
Hey, Tony. We had a last minute regret for one of our key roles for today, and that was for someone to provide a toast as it relates to our meeting.
Toast.
Would you be so kind as to come up with a toast?
Oh, I got
when
one.
we kick
Yeah,
off our meeting.
I got one right off the top of my head, because well,
Good.
there's no hair, so I got something there.
All right. Well, then
Sure, I'd be happy to, Brent. Toast. I
will
love
now-
it.
You have to be very clear with Tony what toast you mean. It's not the bread toast, okay, Tony?
No, which kind of
The
toast
bread.
we do at the Royal Canadian Legion, right? No, I can't go there either. All right.
Oh, hi,
Oh.
Brent. I don't know if I thank you enough for giving me the opportunity to speak the last time, but I do want to thank you openly now. Brent?
Oh, thank you very much for filling in like that, Nazim. That was great.
Thanks. My pleasure anytime.
Welcome, Bud.
Good to see you all.
What's different on your side today?
13 degrees in Waterloo today. 13
Ooh.
degrees Celsius.
Wow.
There,
That's different.
Nice.
that's not fair, because in the valley, it's freezing.
Well, you got to move south.
Dundas is south of here.
The valley?
Oh,
Which
the
valley
valley.
are we talking about? My wife grew up in the Ottawa Valley, so that she had a T-shirt that said, "I'm from the Valley. Good day."
Yeah, good day. Yeah.
No, good day. G''DAY.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I'm having camera problems. Just got it fixed.
So whoever the host is on this meeting, if I can have the ability to share my screen, I would appreciate it for the grammarian role. Perfect.
Percy, I like your cat. So friendly.
Thank you. He's okay right now, but he's starting to nibble at me. You'll see me have that look every once in a while.
Well, I think he slapped you there.
Oh
He
yeah.
he wants your attention. That's pretty neat. You know.
Yeah.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt. Percy. Oh no,
Yes.
you are evaluating today. We are missing one of our evaluators. Oh no, Javelis, you're here. Okay, perfect. We are good then. My apologies for the interruption. I think we have everyone who has an assigned role present and accounted for.
And it is time to
Sorry,
commence
I
our
forgot.
meeting today. Welcome everyone from all over the north and south and central of the world, parts of the world. My name is Nikita Winkler. I am the Sergeant at Arms for today and for Leadership Speak. And I hope you have a great meeting. Our theme today is Women in Leadership, because we are celebrating Women's Month and Women's Day, which is coming up on the 8th of March. Before I continue with anything else, I do want to share the club mission with you so that we know why we are here and what we are here to gain from being here. At Leadership Speak, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And with that, I would like you to sit back, relax, have a drink, open your eyes, your ears, put on your cameras if you will. I would encourage that we do not share any chats during a speech, perhaps after or before, but let's try to refrain from disturbing the speech. And I will now introduce our Toastmaster of the day, who is Brent Patterson, the club president and sponsor, a Toastmaster for over 2 years, but a global leader for 25 years. Welcome, Brent Patterson, our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you very much, Nikita. As Nikita had mentioned, our theme today is a nod, of course, to International Women's Day, which happens to fall on this Tuesday. And perhaps it would have been ideal to have a woman as Toastmaster of the day, But as president of the club, I really treat it as an honor to have the opportunity to celebrate the successes of women in this club and also to honor the women who have helped make me a more effective leader. One of my earliest bosses in my career was a woman. When I finished high school and got my first full-time job, it was for my mother's company. The year prior, the company she was working for as a salesperson went out of business. And instead of just going to work for one of her competitors, she chose to use and leverage her relationships with her customers, and she started her own company. The lessons of learning from her, to have that opportunity and working directly with her as my boss for that first year between high school and university, really instilled in me the sense of pride in watching her navigate her first attempt at entrepreneurship. And I'll forever be inspired by her willingness to take that risk and lead her own business. Now, every day, I get the opportunity to learn from my wife, Catherine, who is now my as I was saying, now I have the opportunity to learn from my wife, Catherine, who is my most effective because she is an unrelenting critic who helps me communicate more effectively with everyone. And I also get the opportunity to every day also learn from my 16-year-old daughter, Sadie, who teaches me the valuable lessons, not only about how to communicate more effectively with her, but also just helps me in being able to reach to an entire new generation of people. Because one of the things that as leaders we need to be able to do is constantly innovate to be able to bridge those generational gaps. And it truly is an honor to have the opportunity to learn from my daughter. So as I introduce our key stakeholders today, if you can help me kick off this meeting, that as I introduce each of our key role players, maybe you could share a story about a woman who's inspired you to improve yourself as both a communicator and a leader. And on that note, I'd like to pass it off to Tony Bratish, who's going to provide us with our toast of the day. Tony?
Yeah, thank you, Brent. I know this, our club constitutes people from all over the world. District 86 is in Ontario, Canada. We're in our 14th year. And of the 14 district leaders, district governors, which became district directors, of the 14, 12 have been women, which is a sign of true leadership. I was an accident. I was the 6th district governor, a male, of course. And when I was at a conference in my year, three of the previous district governors walked up to me in front of everybody in the conference, and they welcomed me into the sisterhood. And it was a nice little presentation. I didn't have their hair. I've never had a manicure in my life, but I was welcomed into the sisterhood. The next year, the next district governor was a woman, of course. And in that year, I had an opportunity to welcome her into the sisterhood. So although I'm not a woman, I'm a member of the sisterhood. And I would like to ask everyone to join me in raising a drink to celebrate the legacy of women leadership, the heritage, and the future of women leadership. So therefore, please join me to women leadership.
To the future of women's leadership.
Women leadership.
Well done, Tony.
Thank you very much, Tony. Well done. Next up, I'd like to introduce our grammarian for the day, Bud Brown. Bud?
Well, thank you, Brent. And I'm just going to share my screen here for a moment to introduce the word of the day, which for those of you who go to Easy Speak and look on your schedule for the day, you will have already seen this word, but the word for today is maven, and it refers to an expert, pundit, knowledgeable, enthusiast. The reason I chose that word is because, as Brent pointed out earlier, I've had, or referred to as himself, I've had many women who were my bosses. And the first one that I had was way back in, well, a long time ago. And I was working at Grand River Hospital, and the head nurse on the floor that I worked on was a marvelous person who inspired me and caused me to seek how to better myself in all times. I should also say that the role of the grammarian is to comment on the positive and negative uses of English during the meeting, to introduce the new word, which I just did, maven, and explain the correct use of it, and to count the use of crutches such as or and sometimes this, well, okay. So with that in mind, I'm going to encourage all of you to use the word maven. I'll be watching for your uses, and I'll turn the meeting back over to our Toastmaster.
Thank you very, very much, Bud. Next up, I would like to introduce our timer, Neela Penn. Neela?
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, and most honored guests. As your timer today, it is my duty to ensure that the meeting stays on time, and I would be timing the speeches. So I'm supposed to give the times for the speech. Bram's speech is going to be 5 to 7 minutes, and I will show the green background at 5, the yellow background at 6, and the red at 7. And for Ron's speech, he's asked me to time him 8 to 10. So green at 8, yellow at 9, and red at 10. And for Nikita's speech, it's 4 to 6. So green at 4, yellow at 5, and red at 6. Many years ago, when I worked at Global Television, it was my first supervisor job as a payroll supervisor, and my manager was a woman, and she has left such a lasting impression on my life. She was the one who taught me to look at the big picture, that before you change anything, you need to look at every angle to see that it does not affect anyone else adversely. Today, we're still friends, and it's like 20-something years later. Mr. Toastmaster, sorry.
Thank you very much, Neela. All right. Just before we move into the main core of our meeting today, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize we definitely have some guests attending today. So thank you very much for joining us here at Leadership Speak. Just when we talk about this club, this is for any guests here, this is a newly chartered club. We initiated our launch meeting at the beginning of February, and we successfully recruited enough charter members from that initial launch meeting to be able to officially charter our club. This club is now an officially chartered Toastmasters club, effective our date of application, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe ended up being February the 14th. So I just wanted to also take a special moment
17th.
just to, sorry, 17th, Bram? Thank you. I just wanted to take a special moment to congratulate all of those charter members who are here in attendance today, as well as all of the support that we've received from the district and from the Club Growth Committee in order to create a charter for a club in such a rapid, possibly record-setting time. And I just wanted to once again thank the charter members for making that happen, making that a possibility, and congratulate all of you in doing so. So thank you. I also, one of the things that as the club executive we've been working towards is making sure that we've really articulated what the vision and mission for this particular club is. And the vision for Leadership Speak is truly to be the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to ultimately become better self-directed leaders. The mission, or how we want to do that, is to create a club where Toastmasters come to learn the art of self-directed leadership through continuous innovation and the use of technology to help strengthen the connections with and between the people they lead. And I just wanted to encourage any of our guests in attendance today, please check the chat. I dropped a link to our guest book. If you could please make sure that you sign our guest book. And it is an absolute pleasure to have you in attendance with us today. On that note, I would like to actually introduce our first evaluator for the day, Glenn Pellegrin. Glenn?
Thank you very much. Good morning. And since this is my first meeting, what am I supposed to do at this point? I'm evaluating Bram, correct?
You absolutely are evaluating Bram. So just any introduction to Bram's objectives of his speech, and then you can pass it back to me, and I'll officially introduce Bram.
Great, thank you very much. Yes, Bram had I had sent information to Bram and asked him what he wanted to really kind of hone in on for today would be eye contact and voice modulation. So that's what I'll be doing. You know, one of the things about it that I'm really looking forward to is seeing just how this goes from the top to the bottom and so forth. It's extremely impressive. So it's been my honor to be here this morning. And back to you, Brent.
Thank you, Glenn. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce a true maven of leadership and leadership development, bringing today his speech, 3 Stages of Leadership. Bram Mamone, 3 Stages of Leadership. Bram, you're on mute, sir.
Thank you, Brent, for that introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, 3 stages of leadership. That is right. There are 3 stages of leadership, and I'm going to tell you what those are in terms of Toastmasters. So let us have a look at that presentation that's right behind me here. If I can get it working, that is, of course, technology always. Oh, there it is. Perfect. So the 3 stages are basically survival, thriving, and transforming. The first one is survival. So what does that really mean? Is that most of us are really focused on the operational aspects. It's very easy to say, what do I need to do and how can I do this? And so most of us are just focused on lists and guidelines and things like that. And it's all operational. Sure, yeah, so it's easy, right? When you're given a list, managers do that all the time. They're given a list, they're given the processes, they're given the people and say, here is the task, get it done. And they rely on all this different HR manuals and processes manuals and so on, and lists, and they're highly organized. And we have to be organized, of course, to get things done, right? But the thing is, we try to do things right, the way the list tells us to do. And that's the basic level of leadership, or it's at the managerial level. At the managerial level, when you have lists and procedures and guidelines, what are you doing is you are working in a box. And when you're working in a box, it is working with limitations. And when you're given something that is outside the limitations, something different happens, like of the pandemic, everything falls apart. Because see this guy right here, out here, is outside the box. Anything that happens outside the box, and people are at a loss. So people start to spin their wheels, and there's burnout happens, and people quit, or they don't make an attempt to get engaged when things start to change, because there's no list, there's no guidelines there, there's uncertainty, and things start to fail. That's the operational. If you just focus on operational, that's what happens. So that's the basic level of leadership, or really at the managerial level. I call that survival level, purely on survival level, because when things change, things break down, and the organization can go out of existence very, very easily. And a lot of clubs in Toastmasters went out of existence. A lot of members exited Toastmasters, 70,000 of them during the pandemic, or globally. The membership went down, lots of clubs closed down because everyone was just relying on processes and so on. The next level of leadership is strategic, visionary. It's all about teamwork. It's all about getting together and making plans and looking into the future. And this strategic is leadership at the next level. It is doing the right thing rather than doing things right. Doing the right thing is getting people together and say, okay, well, now what can we do now that we are faced with this pandemic, or with this crisis, or with things changing, or technology changing? What can we do now? That is being strategic, because then what you're doing is you're planning, you're preparing, you're even practicing how to sort of be in front of people, or your product, or your idea, innovation, and so on. And then you present it and the ideas, and then you take it forward into the world. So that's being strategic. It involves the observation of what's really going on, to reflect, to evaluate yourself, and take yourself to the next level in terms of the strategy and how you're going to navigate in the world. So what does that mean? If you are in a box, you are able to expand the box somewhat and go further afield. This being strategic. But it'll allow you to go further afield only to a certain extent before things begin to break down as well. Because as we know, a lot of organizations come and go. No organization, or very few organizations, stay very, very long term. For an organization to stay a very long term, what do we need? It's all about mastery. It's all about art, creativity. Now you know where I'm getting to, right? Because we say leadership is an art. And we here at Toastmasters in Leadership Speak, it's the art of leadership development. This is what we are focused on. It is, as you can see, thinking outside the box, completely removing the box, actually. There's no box there. And how do we do that? There has to be a spark of awareness as to, what am I doing? What are we doing? Why are we doing what we are doing? And that's becoming visionary, not only visionary, but creative, and introducing innovation, learning, unlearning a lot of things. So you have to really ask very hard questions as to why we are here and what we are doing. It allows you to not only communicate and create teamwork, but it allows you to really connect with your team and communicate and collaborate and create something unprecedented. It is unlearning a lot of things that you thought you knew, all those lists and guidelines and all this that you are entrenched in, and giving those up and moving forward and developing something new. Art is having a blank canvas. And when you have a blank canvas, that's when you can paint a new picture. That's mastery. That's the mastery level. That's leadership development. And so that is what we are focused on here at Leadership Speed, at the mastery level, not at the operational level or strategic level, but at the mastery level. And that's what we are doing at this club. So ladies and gentlemen, so if you have this box again, right? And what you have to do is to expand this box, not only to the strategic level, but go way outside your comfort zone and ask yourself what you're willing to do to create unprecedented outcomes. And what does that mean? Break the damn box. Have no box around you, which means you're constantly unlearning and constantly learning something new to replace things that you knew before with something new and move forward. That's where progression is. So ladies and gentlemen, instead of operational, strategic, and visionary, we are going to focus on mastery at this club. Instead of survival level or thriving level, what you want to do is to transform yourselves, which means giving up what you thought you knew. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Brahm. Well done. Right. Next up, I would like to introduce our next evaluator. But just before I do that, Madam Timer, would you give us 1 minute so that we can just send in a private chat any feedback to Brahm about his speech? Thank you, Madam Timer. All right. Next up, I'd like to start by introducing the evaluator for our next speaker. And that would be Fersi Gotuako. Fersi?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I have the pleasure of being the absolute best listener and best audience member for Mr. Ron Hesketh. Ron is on the persuasive influence pathway, evaluation and feedback. This is his second speech, incorporating feedback from a prior delivery of this speech. His notes at the prior time were to slow down his pace and have more pauses. It is a 10-minute speech, a reminder to the timer for green at 8, yellow at 9, and red at 10. I also asked Ron what his goals were outside of Toastmasters. He said his primary goal, after having led a blessed life, is to give back to his friends in Canada the same kind of blessings he has received. So I will try to give him some feedback that keeps him moving forward there as well and in his career as a leader. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, sir. On that note, I would like, with no further ado, I'd like to introduce Ron Hesketh, Anatomy of a Leader. Anatomy of a Leader, Ron Hesketh.
Thank you, Brent. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, I need your help. Have you ever considered how many references there are in our society to leadership skills? I did. I did a Google search recently and came up with 3,700,000,000 references to the word leadership skills. How many videos have you watched on this subject? How many courses have you taken? How many books have you read? I'd say mine are in the hundreds. Perhaps yours is in the thousands, but it's a lot of information. Now, how can I digest all that information? It's impossible. I've started a new project. I've done similar things in the past. But now I've decided to study in a mute and finite depth 10 people that many people consider to be great leaders. I'm looking to see if I agree with them and why I agree or disagree with them. And where I need your help is in chat after my speech. I was asking you to give me suggestions of 10 people you think are great leaders, and I may include in my experiment. Today, I'm going to give one example of somebody that I personally think, in my own opinion, aside from politics and decisions, is a great leader, a true maven, as it were. And that person is Jacinda Ardern, present Prime Minister of New Zealand. Not maybe the most obvious choice, but if some of you know about Jacinda, you know what I'm talking about. Jacinda started in public life when she was 17 years old. In 2017, she became the 4th woman Prime Minister of New Zealand. She was also first in that she was the first woman to show up at a United Nations conference as a keynote speaker with her newborn baby in her arms. This gives you a bit of an idea of what Jacinda is all about. So, why do I think she's a great leader? There's so many ways. And you can see some of the words on the screen, the 4 top words I came up with to describe her, in my view. First of all, she is an ambassador around the world for New Zealand. And I don't see this in other leaders. She's on television, on interview shows like The Late Show. She has this amazing personality, sociable, intelligent, and joyful. And if I was at the head of the Tourist Bureau of New Zealand, I would want a leader like this, helping me to promote my country and the tourism industry. She is truly an amazing, engaging person, never mind a leader. What has she faced in her time as Prime Minister? Because I think that is the way to really judge a leader. What do you do in the bad times? First of all, in 2019, there was the Christchurch massacres. This was a Muslim community that was attacked by a random person with guns of mass destruction and killed 50 people and injured 47. The small country of New Zealand was traumatized by this event. And of course, like you, like me, I would look to my leaders to address this issue. At the eulogy ceremony, Jacinda gave a brilliant speech, in my view. It accomplished 2 things. It acknowledged the disaster. It was directed at the relatives and those hurt directly. It was directed at the public at large, and it was directed at the world. And it was centered on the project of ending this worldwide. The offshoot was that in the following year, Jacinda formulated a plan, and believe it or not, through Parliament, they passed a law banning mass destruction type weapons, something that most much larger countries have failed to do. And she didn't do it alone. Somehow, she got the cooperation of the opposition parties to come 100% behind it. What an amazing accomplishment. If that was the only thing she did in her time as Prime Minister, she would be a successful leader. Then along comes COVID. And we've all faced COVID, haven't we? And we've seen leaders do different things. At one point, just about a month ago, I saw her in an interview with a very aggressive press agent. And he was going after her. And he said something along the lines of, the wide criticism is that your government did not act quick enough. You know what she said? You're right. She looked right at the camera and she said, Jack, you're right. We failed in certain areas. We should have acted quicker. We should have put more restrictions faster. And frankly, I was shocked by the humility of that moment. A politician, nonetheless, a true maven, who said, I'm sorry to the public, to the voting public that put her in office. And then she said what they're going to do to correct it. I was blown away with that. She's also incredibly good in interview skills and very quick thinking. Because as you probably have observed, the press goes after people, and especially politicians, with a vehemence of bringing them down. And they ask leading questions. This reporter said to her something along the lines, if the riots continue, would you bring in the army? And she thought about it, as she does in all her questions. She just stops. And she decides on a course of action. I'm going to answer the question. I'm going to tell them the question is a dumb question, or I'm going to avoid the question. Right? Three choices that we can pick if we're being challenged. It appears to me she's very honest, because often she'll say, I'm not going to deal with hypothetical situations. That's a waste of my time. I'm not going to guess what we might do overseas or in any situation. And if that reporter or interviewer is really attacking her character, she lets loose. She's sure that her character is good and that her mission is just, and she doesn't hold back. And she's extremely knowledgeable. You may have noticed, especially here in Canada, that leaders refer to other experts. What do you think we should do next to fight the pandemic? Jacinta knows all the numbers, does not refer to health officials, although she does reference that her information comes from them. But she knows how many people have died, how many are being infected, everything about it. And that answer is short, it is crisp, and I'm hoping it's accurate. But I have some faith. I have some faith just in the way she presents herself. A real maven of integrity. I hope someday there isn't a press release with some scandal, true or false. I'll be shattered, and this speech will be irrelevant. But I'm counting on her image being exactly what I think it is, which is great. Another issue, presently right now, she's dealing with truck blockades, just like we did here in Canada. She's in the midst of it right now. She is so focused that she says, I'm not talking to them until they stop breaking the law, period. That's the way she said it. I'm not stopping until they stop breaking the law, period. Inspiring. There is no doubt in my mind where she stands on that issue. And that's what I want from a leader. I want to know what they're made of, what they're going to do, what they're thinking, and I want to trust them. This woman may not be the best leader in the world, but I see qualities in her that I would want in any leader. You, I suggest you study her. Go to YouTube, watch the videos. You may come up with another opinion. This is just my opinion of this leader. But I think you'll agree with most of what I've said. And of course, there's always some that don't, like opposition parties, skeptics, right-wing extremists. But that is life. Does everybody agree with you? Mr. Toastmaster.
Nicely done, Ron. Madam Timer, if we could get 1 minute to send Ron a private chat with feedback about his speech. And I think he also made a request that if you wanted to share some of your votes for the best leaders of all time, please go ahead and do that. Thank you, Madam Timer. All right. I would like to next introduce our final evaluator for today, Yuvelis Jorge. Yuvelis?
This morning, I have the honor to provide feedback to Nikita. She is working on her path of persuasive influence, level 1. She's presenting today her icebreaker and will be working on various aspects that were recommended to her during her last speech. The purpose of her project is to introduce herself to the club and practice the basic structure of a speech. I will be paying special attention to her facial expressions and her connection with the audience.
Thank you very much, Yuvelis. And on that note, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Nikita Winkler. Labels that tell my story. Labels that tell my story. Nikita Winkler.
Welcome everyone present today. I am Nikita Janine Nolutando Winkler Muhammad Ramakutla. I am a dancer, a healer, and a motivational speaker. And I come from a queendom of strong women. Throughout my few years of life, relatively few years of life, I've had many labels attached to me. But I have carefully selected few labels that tell my story, the labels that have been with me throughout my life and that have grown on me. Today, I want to share with you my experience as a communicator and leader in the footsteps of a dancer, a healer, and a motivational speaker. I spent about 20 years of my life training in Western dance styles. When I graduated from college in the US, I returned back to Namibia, my home in Southern Africa. When I returned, I was on a mission to unlearn the 20 years of conditioning I had in order to open myself, to empty myself, to be able to receive new information, to really embody and learn and understand the essence of Namibian traditional dance, which I was embarking on, but also to be able to connect to the society, to be able to speak their language and therefore create impactful work. But I was also on a mission to get to know myself and discover, who am I as a Namibian dancer in this world? I then relocated to Spain and I started teaching African contemporary dance. When I came here, I had to relearn the information that I was learning in Namibia in order for me to really embody and translate this foreign language to my students here. I have danced on 4 continents, and every time I have had to learn, unlearn, relearn, and we all hear Brahm speak about this. This is important because it makes us dynamic and adaptable leaders. In my journey as a dancer, I've also come to a place of trusting in my presence, knowing that I am an effective communicator as a dancer because I have spent years learning the science of dance, and now I can explore the art of dance. So in everything we do, including being leaders, I believe that there is a science and an art. And the science helps us to become confident in practicing the art. As a healer, I've become a better listener. Because in communication, it's not just about speaking. It is also, more importantly, about listening. Listening between the lines. Listening to the unspoken words and listening without ego. My healing journey has taught me that this journey is not about me. I heal so that others can heal. I heal so that I can help to guide others through their healing. And this has taught me the fundamentals of leadership. Leaders provide a safe space in which people can express themselves, in which people can open themselves. They guide and they support. And I resonate with this quote by Irish national politician, John Hume. He says, I never thought in terms of being a leader. I simply think in terms of helping people. Ultimately, I have chosen to identify myself as a motivational speaker because I strive to only speak words that motivate and influence positively. When I was a little girl, I used to say anything I wanted to say without a filter and without thinking. And my influential woman, my mother, the most influential woman in my life, she used to say to me, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it. And so today, I'm a better speaker because I try every day to be more conscious of the words that I use. Words are powerful. On this journey as a dancer, a healer, and a motivational speaker, I've learned to first heal myself, help myself, lead myself, create a relationship with myself, listen to myself before I can do that for other people. I've also learned to empty my cup so that I can gain new perspective. And I've learned to consciously use my words. And that is why I'm here at Toastmasters, so that I can learn the science of speaking in order to enjoy and practice the art of storytelling. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster Frank.
Well done, Nikita. I think you just represented yourself as a maven of motivational speaking. So congratulations. Well done. On that note, Madam Timer, if we could get 1 minute just to provide some private feedback to Nikita about her speech today. And actually, Madam Timer, while we're at it, actually, we are going to what we'll do here actually is we're going to take a quick 5-minute break to give anybody an opportunity to refill their coffee, use their restroom, and then we're going to reconvene. And if we could have our Sergeant at Arms call us back to order in 5 minutes.
Wesley, it's good to see you. How are you, Wesley?
Just fine, Bram. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How's your eye cataract? Is it getting better?
Well,
The surgery?
yeah, the surgeries are over, but the problem is that I'm having trouble seeing up close.
Uh-huh.
I have to see the surgeon next week for a follow-up. He has to
Okay.
release me to get new glasses, and then I have to see a retina specialist in April. But things are coming along. Thank you, sir.
Well, it's good to see you, after a few weeks,
Good to be
enjoyed
here.
that you went around for a couple of weeks, so good to see you back.
Thank you, sir.
Well, we have 30 people in this meeting today.
Tony, is that good, Tony?
30? 30 is a wonderful number.
It is, isn't it? It's
I mean, you can do a lot with 30. You can divide all kinds of numbers into 30.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15. You asked, Brom. 30 is a good number.
Only even numbers though, Tony, even numbers.
Oh, I know. So,
We even have a Shurov day here, and he's just going to get his coffee. Oh, there he is, Shurov. And Shurov is going to be joining us on April the 1st. He's already got the application form and he's muted, so we can't hear him. This is a good thing, I don't know, or a bad thing. I have no idea. We'll find out.
Sorry about that, Bram.
Welcome,
Bram, thank you so much. My pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for sending me the documentation, Bram. I'll get that to you as soon as possible.
Super. Wonderful.
yeah, welcome.
Thanks, Tony.
It's
great. Go ahead, Tony.
Where are you sitting right now? What part of the world are you in?
I'm in Etobicoke.
Okay. That's in Canada, right?
Yeah, that's in Canada. That's Ontario.
I'm only kidding.
Right. That's Toronto for the broader folks.
So beautiful. Wow.
It really is. There are a lot of condominium buildings coming up, so the landscape is changing, I'll be honest. But it is a nice place to stay, I'd say. You get the best of both worlds. You get a bit of the excitement and energy of downtown Toronto without too much of the noise and traffic.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of that peaceful family life that you would experience in other places in Toronto.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a good mix, I'd say. How about you, Tony? Where are you based out of?
Oh, I'm in Dundas.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in Toronto, of course, there's Dundas Street is a significant street.
Right.
And when I would tell Toastmasters I'm from Dundas, they would ask Dundas and where? Like, Dundas and York, or Dundas and, all the intersections. And I would say Dundas. There's a Dundas, they would say, oh yeah, there's a Dundas. It's about this big, but there's a Dundas.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, nice place.
Before we
Nice.
end our break, I just want to say hello to Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. Mrinal, welcome to the meeting and good to see you.
Thank you so much.
Mrinal has invited me to speak at his club. It'll be tomorrow for him, but it'll be 12 midnight for me tonight. So
Thanks for.
So, and where is
You
that?
are-
Where are you?
Yeah, I'm from India, Kolkata.
Okay,
Calcutta.
great. Good. Yeah.
And I really love the meeting today. It's very good meeting, very good topic. You discuss about the leadership, and you're all three speakers are fabulous.
Yeah. Great
I really enjoy
speakers.
the meeting.
Yeah. Great speakers. Yeah. Great
Yes.
topics.
I would
And
like
great
to,
learning. And just it's time to try to implement in our part of life. That's important. Whatever we learn today, and just we try to implement in our life and becoming a better person of yourself on day-to-day basis. So that's I want to say.
Yeah. We try to improve the world one day at a time in
Right.
doing what we can, right?
Absolutely.
I would
Helping
like to
others
send
succeed.
I would
You
like
know,
to send out a personal invitation to Anja, who's a guest today. Anja, you should be part of this group. Even though you're so busy, I challenge you right now in front of all these people to join us.
I would love to run, but Saturdays is my busiest day. We're pet sitters, right? So it's usually changeover day most times, and I could probably come once a month or not even once
Okay.
a month in the summertime. But I challenge all of you to visit Resilient Entrepreneurs on Thursday morning at 8 a.m.
But Anya, didn't Ron, who just spoke, didn't he promise to do something special at your next meeting?
we have the red light
Yes,
on.
so Ron's sister is actually gonna speak. Ronette and she's doing a special speech, so she's our surprise guest. And that's this coming Thursday at 8 a.m. I'll put the registration link in here, and it's Happy Women's Day in retrospect of International Women's Day. That's our theme, and we're trying to have all our speakers and roles filled by females.
And I tell you, Ronette, I'll give you a warning right now, Ronette will not stop talking. So you might as well give her the whole meeting.
And I would like to commence the second half of our meeting. Thank you for your reflections. I've been listening in. Yes, thank you for your reflections, for your presence, for your openness. Welcome back. I hope you got to release, shake it out. Yay, maybe do a little dance.
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
Woo! This is for all the women that have overcome those barriers. Welcome back. And I'm going to hand over to Brent Patterson. Brent, on to you.
Thank you, Nikita. I did miss one thing before we went to break, and that was for our timer to provide the times for our prepared speeches today. Neela, would you be able to quickly provide the times for our prepared speeches?
Yes, Brent. For Bram's speech, it was 8 minutes, 11 seconds. For Ron's speech, 10 minutes and 20 seconds. And for Nikita's speech, 6 minutes and 51 seconds.
Thank you very, very
You're
much.
welcome.
Thank you. Now I'd like to turn the meeting over to our table topics master for today, Vinod Panikkar. Vinod?
Thank you very much, Brent. Hello, everyone from Dubai. To all the Mavens, Leadership Speak members and the guests. It's great to see so many people, 30 people in a meeting, in a third or fourth meeting, I believe. And today I will be your table topic master. legend says that when Toastmasters wanted to introduce impromptu speaking, they said that we will start speaking impromptu, and they were sitting across the table. So they thought it would be a good name to start it as table topics. Now, I don't know whether it is true or false. I just made it up. But I always thought, who came up with this name, table topic? So I will be your table topic master. That is an impromptu speech. From morning till the time we go to sleep, we all speak impromptu. Nobody takes a script and walk, right? And I am a very strong proponent of this particular segment in Toastmasters, because this is what you can actually take immediately to your real life from the club, whatever you do in this table topic, right? My mentor had told me, listen, organize your thought, take a deep breath, start. So when I call on you, don't say why me, just say try me, and just raise your hands and be there. Okay, so table topics will be my timer. Toastmaster Neela would be helping with the timing, and she will be showing green on 1 minute, 1 minute 30 seconds yellow or amber, and 2 minutes red. And I would request everybody to wrap up the speech when they see the red, because if you don't speak if you speak less than 45 seconds and more than 2 minutes 30 seconds, you will be disqualified. So I would like all of you to be in the contention to win the best table topic speaker, right? So today's speech and 8th March, International Women's Day. So I thought I will keep the topics around that theme. Okay, and I would first call upon a speaker or a member who said just few seconds before that she is the most busiest on this day. Guest Anja, it was, I believe, Ganjur. If I am Toastmaster Anja Ganjur?
It's Anya, actually, but I know the J is really not helping that.
Yeah,
So I always
the
tell
J is
people-
really very, very silent over there. Anya Ganjur. Okay.
Think of Tanya and drop the T in front of it.
Anya Gangur. So our first speaker is Anya Gangur. And your topic is women are architects of our society. Women are architects of our society. Toastmaster Anya.
Mr. Table Topics Master, what does every strong leader need? A strong woman by their side. What have your moms taught you? What have your wives taught you? And as Brent mentioned earlier, what are our daughters teaching us? What would our society be without women? The sad part is, how long did it take countries to let us vote? Isn't that sad? We had no rights. We were owned by our husbands not too long ago, and in some countries that is still the case. So I would encourage you all, especially all men, support your women in leadership, and make sure that they have every opportunity to go up the ladder in any company or in any entrepreneurship as you do. I really, really encourage you to help them, because so often we're overlooked, especially for young ladies. Companies know they eventually have kids, babies, so they'll be away from their jobs. They come back years later and they don't have the experience. So really, let us help women to become great leaders, better leaders than they are now. And this is going to be a better world, I can guarantee you. With our insight and knowledge, we'll make all these countries and all the cities and all our households much more successful. Back to you.
Thank you. Big round of applause, everyone. Okay. Second, somebody who has already sent the application form. Toastmaster Shaurav Dev. Toastmaster
Morning,
Shaurav.
Vinod.
Good
Vinod,
morning,
just to-
good evening from Dubai.
Good morning, Vinod. And just to correct you, but the application is on the way. Hasn't been sent yet, but it's on the way.
So we usually predict and assume. That is also something we are learning from Bram. So during this process, we have learned. We assume that you have already sent and you are a member and you already took a role in the next meeting. Your topic. Now, from now on, I will be just telling some quotes of famous women.
Sure.
Toastmaster Shoro, change takes courage. Change takes courage. Toastmaster Shoro.
Absolutely, Toastmaster Vinod. Those are three very powerful words. Very powerful. I'm sure you've heard time and time again that the only constant in our lives is change. That's something that we cannot deny. It's a universal truth of the world that we live in. However, many people are incapacitated by change. Many people are uncomfortable with change. But we can use change not as an obstacle. We can use change as an opportunity. We can use change to our advantage. And the best way, the best way to truly adopt and make the best of change in our lives is exactly what's something Toastmaster Nikita mentioned just a few minutes ago, of how she adapted and how she was flexible to the circumstances around her that helped her gain insights and helped her help people in her environment across 4 continents. Change undoubtedly takes a lot of courage. We have to be up for the challenge. We have to make sure that we are resilient in the face of risk. However, for everybody experiencing change out there, whether it's changing something fairly trivial, such as like a house or a car, just something very substantial, like starting your journey with a spouse or leading a new firm, or like Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern that Ron mentioned, taking a leadership role, leading a company. For all of those people, I would say one thing. Change, of course, takes courage, but always, always, and always never forget to have faith. Have faith that the dots will connect. You can never see the dots connecting looking forward. You can only see the dots connecting looking backward, quoting Steve Jobs. Always have faith that the people around you will support you. Have faith in your strengths and abilities. And make sure that you are strengthened by faith to face all of the challenges and all of the changes that come your way. Back to you, Toastmaster Vinod. Thank you for the question.
Big round of applause. Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shoro. I can see very enthusiastic members putting it in the chat that they want to participate. And just raise your hands also if you want. I will be calling you. This topic, I would be taking Toastmaster Anuja Malik. Can we have you on our screen? Toastmaster Anuja.
Oh, hi, everyone. Actually, I just asked for one of my friend, Dr. Supriya Kumar Velan. So she would like to participate.
Okay. Dr. Supriya?
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Supriya. Your topic, something which my daughter likes, and she told me that you have to include this in today's session. She's 9 years old. Toastmaster Supriya, let it go. Let it
go. Okay, thank you so much, Vinod. Life is a roller coaster. Life is a bungee jumping. Let it go all the worries. Let it go all the tensions. Let it go all the frustrations which comes in your way. Be happy, be positive. That's the meaning of life. That's the zest of life, and that's the zeal of life. Life means to move on. Let it go all your problems which surrounds like a black cloud, because every black cloud has a silver lining. Let it go, let it go. Life means unstoppable. Let it go, and it has to be unstoppable in all the way which you face in this world. God has given this beautiful life. Let it go, all your frustrations, depressions, anxiety, failures. Feel free to express yourself. Feel free to rejuvenate yourself. Feel free to love yourself. Let it go, all your worries, all your tensions, all your negative thoughts. Be positive, let it go. Thank you so much.
Big round of applause, everyone. Thank you very much. Next, Toastmaster Randy Moore.
Hello. Actually, I saw a bunch of other people asking in the chat, but I can go if you
Hi,
want.
Randy.
All right. Hello.
Yeah, are you taking any role, Randy, today?
No, I am not. I am a guest.
Oh, great. Please, please. Then it's, I thought you were taking any role. Okay. Toastmaster Randy, for you. I don't need easy. I just need possible. I don't need easy. I just need possible. Over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master. I think this is a phenomenal table topics. I don't need easy. I just need, I believe you said opportunity or just a chance. I think everyone does what's easy all the time. They just take the easy way out, and it's not the way to do it. Anytime you want to succeed in life, you need to try hard things. You need to do the thing that's hard. You need to step out of your comfort zone. Kind of like what Brahm said, getting out of the box. I love that presentation. It showed that box blow up. You want to blow up that box. You want to take the hard route, which usually means hard work. It means you actually have to take the time to work on yourself, work on whatever project you're working on. If you want to succeed, you can't take the easy way out. You really got to take the hard way, which often means doing things that you don't want to do, which means being uncomfortable and jumping on those opportunities as they arise. And opportunities come at us all the time, but the problem is we don't recognize them. So an opportunity will come up and we don't recognize it. We'll say, oh, I could never do that, or, well, that's for someone else. But the hard thing is to say, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take that role. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to do the hard work necessary. I'm not going to do what's easy. I'm going to do what's hard. Step out of my comfort zone, step out of my box, and try something new. If there's any guests here, that might mean joining Toastmasters and becoming a speaker and doing a table topics like this and taking on a role in your club. So I recommend do the hard route. Do something hard. Don't do the easy route. The easy thing is watching TV and sitting and doing nothing. The hard thing is to get up and move forward. Thank you, Mr. Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Mr. Randy, Toastmaster Randy. Big round of applause, everyone. Okay, so the next speaker, Toastmaster Prashant had volunteered. Toastmaster Prashant, can I please have you on the screen? Yeah, please unmute yourself, Toastmaster Prashant. Or the Zoom master can help. Just a second. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. You're clearly audible and visible now. Okay, Toastmaster Prashant, your topic is growth and comfort do not coexist. Growth and comfort do not coexist. Toastmaster Prashant.
Fellow Toastmasters, it's a pleasure to be here. And what a great topic. Growth and comfort don't coexist. As the previous speaker, what Randy mentioned, we need to come out of our comfort zone. And growth is only possible when we come out of the comfort zone. And it's so very much important for us to try things. And as Saurav also mentioned, we need to have the courage, we need to have the belief, we need to have the faith and try something new. As Toastmasters, as first-time speakers, as part of any Toastmasters group, it is so very important to go all the way out to present a speech. Even if you are not the perfect speaker, even if you fumble, even if you make mistakes or you fail miserably, what's really important is you keep trying, and challenge yourself. Even if you are not that great enough, just keep trying and just keep growing. What's really important is just go out there and give your best shot. And I think that growth eventually is really important no matter how much you improve, even if it is few percentages or largely. What's important is you are giving it a try. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prashant. A big round of applause, everyone. Okay, anybody else would like to volunteer? Or let me call upon Mariana.
Sumita had asked in the chat. Sumita.
Sumita?
Yes,
Yeah,
I'm here.
Sumita,
Am
would
I
you-
audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. You're audible and visible. Thank you very much for volunteering. Your topic. We realize the importance of our voice only when we are silenced. We realize the importance of our voice only when we are silenced.
Imagine you had a very bad day at office, and the entire day you were in bad mood. You got some bad mails as in mails you don't wanted to see. And at times you even talked harsh to your colleagues, which you never wanted. And you come back home with a very, very bad mood, although you try to manage to smile by seeing your spouse or your kids. And at night, when you go to sleep, do you feel like you can sleep as you can sleep daily? Well, I don't get sleep so well because at that point of time, I retrospect. I retrospect in silence. I think of what happened in the entire day. Yes, my dear friends and Toastmaster, I speak to myself at that point of time because I feel that silence is something which connects me to my inner soul, and that inner soul is my strongest of the friend or my critic who can help me to get out a solution and to lead the next day in a most viable way. Because when we seek out other sources for all the thing we need and we come out of getting criticism, and at times unknowingly we criticize ourselves as well, and we get a very, very bad mood. But the best part is on retrospection, and in my life I have come out of a bad thing to a good thing always when I talk to myself in silence. So I can very well relate to it, and I must say you all will agree to it. And what do you think, Mr. Toastmaster of the day, Mr. Table Topic Master?
Thank you. A big round of applause for Toastmaster Sumita. Timer, how much time we have?
Vinod, I think we have time for one more.
Okay.
Okay, let's see who would be that lucky one. If you don't raise your hands, I will just call you. That is something that I love to do. I can see one name, Uzma. Uzma 1, Uzma 2, Uzma 3. Okay, next. Toastmaster Mary Lou Wong. Or anyone. Yeah. Mariana. Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster Mariana. Am I pronouncing it right?
Mariana is perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mariana. Toastmaster Mariana, your topic. Your value will be not what you know. It will be what you share. Your value will be not what you know. It will be what you share. Toastmaster Mariana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Topics Master. And you are absolutely right. It doesn't matter how much any person knows, it worth nothing unless they're willing to share their knowledge. They're willing to teach other people, and they're willing to go out to the world and share their knowledge. So if someone just go through the educational process in order to collect knowledge and maybe share with their family, or sit down and writing books but never publish it, it means nothing to us as a society. We need people who are willing to share. Unfortunately, at certain times, having acquired knowledge of things makes people feel powerful over others. Hence, they don't want to share their knowledge because they think that they will worth less if everybody knows what they know. And that's a very wrong approach towards life, towards society. And we all have a responsibility, A, to learn, and B, to share what we learn so we can take forward society. And that's how science going forward. Usually all new development build up one on the other. And unless we didn't have a Newton, we wouldn't have many physical development in this world. And probably without him, we wouldn't have quantum physics now, even though it's a different approach. But we build on our knowledge base to go forward in society, and it's important to share. And I encourage everybody, including myself, not to be afraid to share whatever we know. We may be wrong, we may be right, but that takes society forward. Thank you very much, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mariana. A big round of applause to all the speakers. All of you proved that you are mavens. And you are not a novice in attempting table topics today. I enjoyed a lot, and the Sergeant-at-Arms has done an impromptu job of immediately putting out all the names of the speaker. I would request the speaker, the timer, who has helped me in keeping the time, to Toastmaster Neela. Please, can you read out the timings for the qualification?
Yes, Vinod. The timing for Anya was 1 minute, 38 seconds. Sharu, 2 minutes, 24 seconds. Supriya, 1 minute and 9 seconds. Randy, 1 minute, 47 seconds. Prashant, 1 minute, 43 seconds. Sumita, 1 minute, 56 seconds. And Mariana, 1 minute, 55 seconds. So everyone was within the time limit. Thank you.
Thank you very much, timer Toastmaster Neela. Amazing job, and Sergeant-at-Arms. And do we have a poll for the best table topic speaker now? Brent is nodding his head, so I assume it will be there. It would be up in just 3 seconds. If it is not, it will take again 3 seconds. So just have patience. So there were 7 speakers. You can see the name of the speakers in the chat box. And you can see the poll, best effort table topic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Toastmaster Anya was 1, Shaurya was 2, Supriya 3, Randy 4, Prashant 5, Somita 6, and Mariana 7. Let me also vote. Just give me a thumbs up, Brent, once we get more than 70% votes.
Yep,
It's
we've
done.
got 80%, so we can end the poll now.
Yes, thank you very much. It was an absolute pleasure. So I would end with one of the quotes of Helen Blanchard, the first woman president of Toastmasters. If you can get out of Toastmasters what you can get out, you will never get out of Toastmasters. This is what my mentor said in the first meeting, the demo meeting that I had attended in 2015. And from that day, I have never gone out of Toastmasters. And I would like to be with Leadership Speaks and grow with all of you together. Thank you very much for this opportunity, Brent and Timer Neela and Sajana Towns for your help. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Vinod. You did a marvelous job of demonstrating yourself as being a maven of administering table topics today. So well done. All right. On that note, I would like to pass the meeting now over to our general evaluator today, Brahm Mamon. Brahm?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. My role as a general evaluator is to evaluate the meeting as a whole, to introduce to you the auxiliary players who will be giving their reports, but most importantly, how our speakers have done and where they can rise to the next level. So I'll be introducing the evaluators, which is the first thing that I will do today. Having said that, our first evaluator is going to be Glenn Pellegrin. Glenn?
Thank you very much, Brahm. It's my
Before
pleasure.
you go on, Glenn,
Sure,
of
go
course,
ahead.
I have to introduce him as to who is woman leader that he admires. And he said, Bethany Frankel. And why did he join Leadership Speak? He joined the Leadership Speak for the leadership education and experienced with other experienced Toastmasters. Over to you, Glenn.
Thank you very much, Brahm. Yes, I'm a maven leader in the making, and I'm very glad to be here. It is my pleasure to evaluate Brahm. This speech was given as an educational speech, and one of the things I noticed in the very beginning, Brahm, you sort of acted like you had 60 eyeballs from all around the world looking not directly at you, hanging on every word that you had. Oh, that's right. There was 60 eyeballs looking at you and hanging on every word that you said. So in the beginning, you started out a little bit of low energy. So I would highly recommend that you get with Nikita, get some energy up for the next speech, because it would have helped a great deal to come out sort of like a little bit more of a ball of fire, because your topic was a great topic. Leadership is a wonderful opportunity to help people. And obviously that's our main vision. Your gestures, especially your hands, are excellent. You have an enviable grasp of technology, which is just a terrific opportunity to be able to instruct people. This speech seemed to be more of an instruction type speech, and you were given great numbers of lists, which was fine. I have a very technical background as well, and so I'm used to that sort of speaking. In this kind of an environment, though, I would have really liked to have seen you do more of either storytelling or giving some background to some of the things in the list. For example, you started out with survival, thriving, and transforming is what I gleaned out of the very beginning. And then you went on to other lists, like list, organize, do things right. And I could see where you were going with it, especially when you came to the point where you're saying doing the right things. I'm a product as an example of managers who do what is known as managing by walking around. I used to go around the plant and being able to look at people not to find out what they did things wrong, but what they did things right. I thought that could have been something you could have included in the speech, or a little story like that, to be able to give a more personalized approach rather than just the listing of certain things. Take us on a journey, if you will. And leadership is such an important part of what we're doing here. And what you did in the ending of your speech was connect, collaborate, and create, unlearn old things and relearning or learning new things was something I thought you could have expounded on. But I have to tell you, I'm really looking forward to another speech by you. It was excellent. I'm looking forward to many more, and great job for today. Continue doing those. I think they really helped the club out a great deal. Back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Glenn, for that wonderful evaluation. I will take it to heart and improve my speaking. Our next evaluator is Fersi Gotuako, and he's going to be evaluating Ron Hesketh. I asked Fersi his hero or the woman leader that he admires, and he said Helen Keller. And the reason why he's joined our club here, Leadership Speak, is because he wants to be a better leader. Fersi Gotuako, all yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator, and thank you, Ron Hesketh, for being the maven of political leaders, even those from half a world away. Thank you very much for your choice in a leader to discuss with us. Ron, nice passion, personal opinions interwoven with objective quotes and objective statistics and objective information. I like the blend of all of that coming together. You asked me to look at the slower pace and the pausing. That was the critique that you received prior. Nice, I thought you had it. Nice pacing, and it didn't even look like it took you a lot to get there. Just a nice, general, casual conversation. And that was one of the things that you did really well. Very casual conversation. Nice. Didn't throw anybody off, didn't put anybody off, worked for you. I want to applaud you, Ron, and let everybody know one of the things that I am impressed by with you was your very thorough work prior to delivering your speech, giving us the title and the pathway that everyone does, but then giving the Toastmaster your introduction. And you and I, we had a couple of exchanges about what you wanted to gain outside of Toastmasters, and you were able to share that information with me. I appreciate that. Very thorough, even looking at your timing for the timer, the 8, 9, 10. By the way, I'd want you to consider something on the timing. Try taking the timer, the green at halfway point, and then the yellow at three-quarter way point on those longer speeches. Because something tells me you're going to be delivering some nice long speeches to different organizations. Instead of waiting for the last 3 minutes, go ahead and give yourself at the 50%, 75% in case you got to tweak what you got left. Nice phrasing, offshoot, good word. Also the phrasing of mission is just. I think that was part of that personal with the objective. And I think that worked for you. Ron, I had a couple things that you may want to consider. Not that the speech was bad, but how do you take it to the next level? How do you take it to the next group of people who are ready to hear what you have to say? Because you know that's going to happen, right? You know that this is your way of giving back to your community, sharing examples of great leadership. How do we do that? One, let's talk a little bit about gestures. Now, Ron, you've got gestures going. You know that. But what can we do to make our gestures more content appropriate? I got some palms up and I even got some shoulders up, but look at what that communicates. Now, Ron, you know so much more than what this communicates. So let's figure out how we can make our gestures more appropriate to what we're doing. And I think it's gonna make it even stronger. You had some unsupported superlatives like engaging, personality was amazing, but you didn't back it up at that moment. Last thing, this is the big challenge, Ron. We have to reduce the length of the story, not because you went over
7 minutes or even 10 minutes, which by the way, I'm not sure that you really need it, but because you're going to be giving this information and this speech to more people in different settings. You're going to be talking about this prime minister to somebody at the checkout line. So what would you do if you only had 30 seconds? What would you do if you had 5 minutes or 3 minutes? Be ready for that. Play it like an accordion. Give back to your community. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate the gift of your speech. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Percy. Now, our next evaluator is Yuvalis Jorb. And I asked her who her inspiration was in leadership, a woman leader, and she says Antonia Novello, who made history as being the first Surgeon General, U.S. Surgeon General, and the first Hispanic. And she joined Leadership Speak because she wanted to step out of her comfort zone to practice her English and to learn technology. But not only that, she wanted to add value to the team because she is a good leader as it is, and she can contribute to the team as well. So she's not only taking, but giving. Wonderful. Yuvalis is going to be evaluating Nikita.
Nikita, first, I want to congratulate you for working on the recommendations that were given to you before. As I said, the purpose of your project was successfully accomplished. As I said, you wanted me to focus on specific areas that were previously recommended to you by your previous evaluator. And I personally think that you did an amazing job today and that your message got my attention. I observed that you mastered the part of your facial expressions, that you sustain eye contact with the camera, which for me is very difficult. So I admire that from your evaluation, and that you have a very honest smile that make the audience connect with you. In terms of those natural expressions that you wanted to work with, I would say that when you were finishing your speech, you were being more yourself, like when you were introducing Brent back, that you were being more natural, more of you. And I don't know you, but I could feel that you were being yourself. Maybe that's the type of expressions that you want to accomplish. I don't know, but if that is what you meant by natural expressions, that's the Nikita I would like to see on your first speech. Your message was clear. I think that you're doing a wonderful job. I'm just saying because of the fact that you said that you wanted to be more natural. I would like you to pay attention to the time, so you can do a very strong closing when you are finishing your speech. Now, my challenge to you is to incorporate technology in your speech. For example, when you say you are a dancer, it would have been good if we could have seen a quick video of what you do, maybe a couple of slides that show us the type of dancing that you do. And when you say that you are a healer, what type of healer are you? Are you working with the inner child? Are you working with trauma? What kind of healer you are? So maybe incorporating technology for that could be good. Other than that, you look very confident. I love your vocal variety. I love your smile and your connection. And I think you are moving this and you got this. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you, Yuvalis. And that was our last evaluator for today. So now I'll call upon our auxiliary role players to give their report, and we'll begin with our timer for the evaluations.
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmaster, and our most honored guest. The evaluation time for Glenn was 2 minutes, 50 seconds. For Percy, it was 3 minutes, 30 seconds. And For Javella, it was 2 minutes, 48 seconds. Did you get that? Because my internet seems to be going.
Thank you. Thank you, Neil. I'm trying to read some messages here and trying to do my job as well. So let's move on to the grammarian, and then we will go to actually announcing the table topic winner after that. So, Mr. Grammarian, Bud Brahm.
Thank you, Brahm. I have a few things to inject here. First of all, in terms of the use of the word of the day, Maven, Brent used it 3 times, Thursday once, Ron used it 3 times in his speech, and Vinod used it once. But something I want to add in here is that the word of the day, oftentimes I hear people use it. It's like they're just injecting it into a sentence. They're not really giving any thought to what it means. And the word maven refers to expertise. It refers to special knowledge. A maven of Toastmasters is somebody who's studied the Toastmasters Club. And I heard several uses of maven almost as if it were a synonym for leader or good leader, great leader. And it's just not the case. So something to keep in mind. The other thing that I really noticed, some great uses of language. I saw Brahm mentioned auxiliary players. I like the reference as I'm one of the auxiliary. Oh, well, that's nice to know. Ron used vehemence, which I thought was a great word for the context that he used it in. I especially love Nikita's use of the word queendom. I'd never heard that done before, and I think it's should be done more often. I thought that was well done. And the other thing I liked from Nikita is she resonates with a quote. I thought, oh yeah, what a great one. Instead of I have a great quote, I resonate with this. It really, really did fill in. And Sumita talked about the silence connects me to my inner soul. What a beautiful image that is. So I just wanted to share that with you. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Grammarian, Bud Brahm. Wonderful. I will move on to my main report. So Neela gave me 7 minutes for the report, 5, 6, and 7. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, since we just said the grammarian, I'll just quote a report on the grammarian and how we can improve and things like that on the grammarian. First of all, great report. You caught the phrases well, the good use of language and so on. That was well done, Mr. Grammarian. The word of the day was displayed only once in the chat, and then of course the chat keeps going, so we don't see that. So I suggest, and we have said this before, but I mean, not said it too much before, but we mentioned a little bit before, that if you have something like this in your background, this is from my other club, and have the word of the day displayed right behind you all the time with what it means and so on, then it can be seen more often and maybe used more often. So that is a suggestion for the grammarian. Hopefully it becomes part of our culture. We are a brand new club. We are just starting out. This is our officially the 3rd meeting, I believe. So we're just starting out. There's lots of things to learn, lots of things to put together. Overall, this is what I have to say is when you bring people from diverse backgrounds and different cultures from the clubs that they have been in, and you bring them together in a brand new club. This is an advanced club. They had different ideas from their own clubs as to what works and what didn't work and so on. And they come together, and then suddenly, when we are trying to form a new culture that is for an advanced Toastmasters club that focuses on advanced leadership development, it takes time to gel that culture. And so that's what we are experiencing right now. For those of you who are guests here and you want to join, you will see that the culture will begin to gel and come to fruition. For those of you who don't understand why things are done the way they are done, well, you just have to look at MySpeak and what we did at MySpeak. So welcome to Leadership Speak for the advanced leadership skills. What I would suggest for our members that especially have roles, that they come at least 15 minutes before the meeting begins. Those of you who know Vince Lombardi, Green Bay Packers, the great coach, he said, if you're not here 15 minutes before we begin, you are late. That's right. That's what he said. If you're not here 15 minutes before we begin, you are late. Leadership is all about arriving before everyone arrives and leaving after everyone has left. That is leadership. Come first, leave last. Advanced leadership, leadership development, leadership speak. So let's get to that point where we can do that sort of a thing. I would like to commend Brent Pattison, the president, who was the Toastmaster of the day. Again, we are going through teething problems. During the week, nobody stepped forward to be the Toastmaster of the day. Usually the Toastmaster of the day they should know 2 weeks in advance who the Toastmaster of the day should be, so they're prepared. They work with the agenda, they work with the team. So we waited if somebody would step forward. We even asked if a woman or female from our club could be the Toastmaster of the day. But apparently today, some of our leaders who are ladies, women, are out not attending today because they are in their own districts and divisions and so on, because they're all leaders at that level where they have to be attending other events. So they were not able to take that on. And so I commend Brent for taking that on at the last minute, which was Wednesday, or Thursday, I believe. And hence there were a few glitches that you may not have noticed, but I did notice because of the last minute thing. Like, for example, the introductions. Speakers were not asked for the introductions because that was one of those things that were taken up later on in the week. I would see, I still see that when I looked at Easy Speak. Now, this is, of course, advanced leadership. So I'm going to, we said that we will be speaking directly rather than tippy-toe around eggshells. And I see on Easy Speak that 4 people have not still signed in. We don't know where they are, whether they're coming, they're not coming, they're tentative, we don't know. So Easy Speak is a place where it is what you let the other team members know whether you're going to be playing on the field or not this particular day. If you're in a high-powered, high-performing team and you don't tell the rest of the team where you are, whether you're going to be performing and be on the team this day or not, then it's not a high-performing team, or you're not a high-performing player. So those are the things that we will be putting into place to make sure that everyone 7 days before Saturday, which means the Sunday before, they tell the rest of the team whether they're going to be playing on the team that particular Saturday coming up or not, by saying yes or no on Easy Speak. This is our scheduling system. That is very, very important. As for our timer, I like the timer is right on target, and she's showing her timings and so on very well. I will better take this off behind me so that she actually came and practiced with me a few days ago, and she said, Brahm, I need to practice. Could you please come on? So that I love that. That is leadership. Leadership is all about asking for help and giving help at the same time. What can I do for you? How can I help you? Is not only leadership, but leadership is at this level. Can you help me? Not hesitating to ask somebody to help you. So that was done very well. Vinod Panikkar as the Toastmaster, table topic master. Wow. Vinod, apparently you are a very experienced Toastmaster. And what I loved about you is that you explained what impromptu speaking is. You said, we do it all day long. We don't have a script that we carry it around. I've never heard of anyone said that before for table topics, and your enthusiasm shone through. The subject that you picked was very well, and everyone joined in, and the guests as well. So very good. Loved it. As for the evaluators, if I can briefly say, because I have to evaluate the evaluators and I'm running out of time, so I will briefly say that Glenn, yes, sometimes storytelling is good. And we sort of tend to focus that quite a bit in Toastmasters about storytelling, but in the 7-minute education session, I thought maybe I would just give the framework rather than stories. So that was the approach I had taken. Firstly, excellent evaluation of Ron Hesketh, your voice, your gestures, and how you portray yourself. Very well done. And you, Ellis, your evaluation of Nikita was very good. And you focused on most of the things that needed to be focused on. And because I was multitasking, I don't have points for improvement at the moment, but I will the next time. Thank you very much, everyone. Red light is going on. 7 minutes passed by very, very quickly. So I will now give it back to your Toastmaster of the day, Brent.
Thank you very much, Bram. Excellent evaluation. All right. Folks, it's coming near to the end of the meeting, and I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to once again thank our guests who were able to attend today. And at the same time, I also want to make sure that I use this as an opportunity to officially announce that next week's meeting is going to be a special club charter celebration meeting. Again, the fact that this club really held its launch meeting just 4 weeks ago and was able to initiate their charter application immediately following that meeting and the week following that meeting and receive the chartering of the club is just an amazing accomplishment and something that we all need to be proud of and at the same time celebrate. Next week, we have our an agenda being lined up to really be focused on the celebration of the chartering of this club. We have a keynote speech that's going to be delivered by past Toastmasters International President Mohammed Murad, as well as some other notable speeches, maybe one from one of our current members who is also a former governor of this district. And we're looking forward to next week's meeting. So of course, if you are not yet a member by next week, of course, all guests are still welcome next week. On that note, I did want to have a quick chance to check in with some of our guests from today. Again, I encourage you to sign into our guest book. I'll drop it into the chat one last time. And I know I heard the commitment, Sharav, but if you wanted to just share your experience from your attendance today and let us know, what you most look forward to about joining this club.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Brett. I would love to share. I think this club is phenomenal in many ways. I hear all of you speak, Ron, Tony, Nikita, yourself, Brett, Brahm, and I'm just in a state of awe, of how all of you have mastered, this beautiful skill of communicating with a lot of articulation. I think whenever I've attended a leadership speak meeting, I've never been disappointed. And I'm going to have such fond memories of Ron's speech today, of Nikita's speech, of Bram's speech today. I'm going to be thinking about them long after this meeting is over. And that's something that I'm truly looking forward to. I'm excited. I'm greatly looking forward with anticipation to hear more of all of the speeches, these wonderful speeches that we can surely anticipate from this wonderful organization and wonderful group that you and Brahm and the team have created, Brett. So thank you again for being here and looking forward to many, many more meetings together.
Thank you very much, Sharav. And before I go to some of our other guests, I'm going to pause. I did happen to forget to announce the winner of our Table Topics session today. And without further ado, the winner of today's Table Topics was our guest, Randy Moore. Congratulations, Randy.
Thank you very much. I don't know. I thought Dr.
Randy.
Supriya, I thought she was going to take it. So if I won, I must have done pretty good because she was pretty amazing. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Speech.
Well, since you're highlighted on stage, Randy, and here as a guest, any feedback for us?
Sure thing. I would actually just like to congratulate you guys on starting a club. It's a really big deal to start a Toastmasters club. So we're really proud of you at the district. Fantastic job, especially so fast. I think this is going to be a very strong club. Looks like you have some great presenters. Looks like There's a great future for this club. I learned a lot. I took a bunch of notes down from some of the study. You inspired me on a couple things. I love the way it was structured. I liked how the way it was. I was invited. Very professional. I think you have a very great future. So good luck, and I'm rooting for you.
Thank you very much, Randy, and thanks for attending. Dr. Supriya?
Yes, I will say congratulations to Randy, and it was a really amazing experience for me to be with you all. I really, really enjoyed it. Let it go. Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Anya, just would love to hear your overall feedback.
Hello, thanks, Brent. I think it was a great meeting. All the speeches, the evaluators, you always learn from something. And I try to go to different Toastmaster clubs as guests all the time. And you meet amazing people. So I all encourage you to visit other Toastmasters. For my Resilient Toastmaster Club, I thought I have to go and visit more Toastmaster clubs. And last week I visited a club in Milton, and actually there was a member that's part of the Lang Economics and Business School here in Guelph. So, and he right away said, "Oh, this is great. I will pass your information on." But not just that, we learn all the time. We learn, we meet great people, and I'm so happy to be here. So I all challenge you, visit other Toastmasters, learn from other Toastmasters Club and learn from them. And I'm happy to be here, and I'll come back as a guest. But as I said, unfortunately, Saturdays are not the greatest day for me. Back to you.
Understand. Thank you very much, Anya. Great to see you. Prashant.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this club introduction. I see the speakers are amazing. I was quite hooked on to every speaker in terms of the information they provided. Graham had an excellent presentation about leadership, and it was definitely a pleasure to be with all of you all. I would like to, in fact, at some point, I would like to give a speech in this club if I can get an opportunity to speak on any topic. And I would definitely want to take up any roles in the future in this club. And I definitely would like to thank everyone. Thank Graham for inviting me. And thank you, everyone. It's been really a pleasure and an opportunity for me on this Saturday morning to kind of pump up some of that adrenaline rush of leadership. And I would like to, all the women on this club, I would like to congratulate them and actually just kind of wishing them a very happy Women's Day in advance. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much, Prashant. Anuja, I did see that you dropped a note in the chat, but would you like to share your feedback?
Yeah, thank you so much for the invite. And I'm looking forward to join this club, and all the sessions and this presentation is superb. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. And I think the last guest that we did not hear from was Yvonne. Yvonne, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I enjoyed the meeting, and I like visiting other clubs. And it was exciting, those table topics, and I start writing because that is one of my weaknesses. So I just enjoy visiting whenever it can be. Whenever it's possible, I will join in.
Great to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me.
Of course. All right, folks, on that note, I would like to once again invite everyone and remind everyone that next week is our club charter celebration meeting. I look forward to seeing everyone there, and we can officially conclude today's meeting.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharav. Talk to you soon.
Good job,
Talk to you soon,
everyone.
Rob.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I have to see if I still have a family now or not, or whether they left. I haven't heard a sound, so I'm not sure my wife is even home.
Ram, I want to challenge you to think about stretching the box, because I interviewed a dancer and he said, someone asked him, how do they step out of their comfort zone? And he said, well, you don't have to step out of it. Maybe you should just stretch your comfort zone and bring everything that's outside of it inside. So yeah, I wanted to mention that.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Nikita. All right, Tony, what do you think?
Well, I gotta
Is
give
your investment sound in here, Tony?
what's that? I
Is
gotta
your
give
investment sound?
sound
Did you make a sound investment in leadership speak?
investment. Ah, well, Brent, you did a great job as Toastmaster. Bang, 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 bang. You let the speaker speak and you move along fine. And you created more time for guests to get involved in table topics, you know, so I really like that, you know. I think that you did it the perfect way. Well, you know, well done, Brent.
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, because we don't want to hear the Toastmaster talk. It's the speakers talking and the guests talking. So yeah, that was good. You took control of that. It's great. Yeah.
All right.
Well, you hear that we heard a lot of good things from a lot of people today, and they seem to be sincere. So it looks like you have some more members.
Yeah.
And it's great. 30 people at one time today. Wow.
That's a good thing, especially for a club that's just starting out.
Yeah, that's it. Well, yeah.
Yeah, very good thing. And pretty soon we'll be having a lot more members. I said by end of April, maybe 28 members. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That's my target, of course. So
Good. Okay, well,
we'll see you next week, Tony. What are you speaking about next week?
well, you asked me to address issues involving the chartering of clubs, the strengths, different, and I put a lot of thought to it.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna, try to make it a very interesting, informative, and entertaining presentation based on the Pathways presentation.
Uh-huh.
Buy the book, as Brent would say, self-driven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although I'm no Waven, but I am a member of the sisterhood. So that's probably the ugliest sister you ever saw. Yeah, well done. Just feels right.
All right. So it looks like you made a good investment.
Oh, so that's what you mean. Okay. Yeah. What did we pay? How much did we pay? $95?
You paid $95 from February to September.
Yeah, but how come the others only paid 50 and I paid 95? I'm only kidding. I don't care.
Now everyone paid equivalent.
Of course.
Canadian dollars.
Yeah.
It is $55 US from April to September.
Yeah. You think
Compared to
about
that,
it, it's a drop in the bucket, for based on our level of capita income, just a drop in the bucket, right? But the returns are many people have said, that one fellow quoted the first woman president's statement: "You get out of Toastmasters what you put in, and you never get out."
Yeah.
I know the quote. I just don't remember it right. But absolutely, she was bang on. After all, Brahm, you're in this for 26 years.
Almost, yeah. Almost 26 years.
I'm almost 15, and Brent is 2+. So, I mean, no, that's not negative. No.
I mean, Tony, for a person who's just been around for 2+, but is able to conduct himself the way Brent does, I mean,
he's a
that's
heavy
the
hitter.
reason why I wanted him to be part of this team.
Yeah, he's a heavy hitter. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hits the ball for home runs. Yeah.
I do like hitting home runs, actually.
Okay. Well, yeah. So, yeah.
Well, today we also got to know Brent is married and he admires his wife and has a daughter that I didn't know about. So we're getting to know each other.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's right. Influential women in his lifetime. Brent, how old is your daughter?
16.
16. So she's pretty anxious about driving the car, right?
She got her learner's permit the day after her 16th birthday, but to be perfectly honest, she's yet to practice driving once. So
Oh.
she's had her learner's permit since July 23rd, and she is yet to actually get behind the wheel.
It's not surprising for kids that age, because I've got my granddaughters, when they turn 16, their dad, which is my son, was very excited about getting them a license and all that. And so they went for the G license. They've never driven. They don't care.
Yeah.
They don't want to drive.
No, she's not. She's not really expressed any interest. My son, who's only 14, keeps asking me to let him drive, even though he can't. But
Now, on the other hand, my daughter, when she turned 16, she absolutely had to get her driver's license.
Uh-huh.
And she worked at it, took courses. We went to the driver test center in Burlington when it existed. It was a beautiful Thursday. I don't know how I remember this. This is now like 16 years ago. And it was such a beautiful day. I sat outside in the plaza with my back to the wall with the book in my hand, and I promptly fell asleep. Next thing I knew, a deep, dark shadow fell over me. And then I woke up and it was my daughter's shadow. And it was a angry, sad shadow because she fell because she couldn't parallel park. And I remember the shadow woke me up. It was like the foreboding shadow. So what did she do? She organized a party. We had a pool at that time in the backyard. So she got a whole bunch of girls to come over and they had a party. She failed her test. So what the heck? They're going to have a party. And they came over and they had a party, and she passed the next time, of course.
Mm.
What a way to handle defeat, right? Just have a party. But what the hell? Have a party. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I bought a brand new van. And on the second day I had a brand new van back then, my daughter crushed the bumper.
Did the insurance pay for it?
Wasn't worth it, but I couldn't even be bothered to fix it because she's just going to do it again. So one day I took my car years later, for a transmission fluid change, and the guys at the gas station had nothing to do. So they straightened the bumper out. They heated it up and they took a plunger and they popped it open, because he had nothing else to do. And then they were sitting on the front waiting for me to walk in to see if I noticed he fixed the bumper. So I came running in. He says, "Where's my car? There's one just like it, but its bumper's perfect. Where's my car?" Of course, I was playing them up because I knew my license plate number. They're all giggling and everything. So I brought them a big pizza. That bumper, that bumper, the
Uh-huh.
damaged bumper turned out to be a pretty good story.
You got a lot of stories, Tony. You're a storyteller.
I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
full of
it's the story
shit,
of my life.
really. You
All right,
know?
guys. I will catch you. I will catch you later.
Yeah,
All right,
good
Brent.
work. Good job, Brent.
Thanks, Tony. See you later, guys.
All right, Tony.
Yeah, no, I'm glad Brent did what he did. Like he took charge of the Toastmaster role and show
Mhm.
people how it's done. But
Yeah.
I like the comments. From the fellow in the Etobicoke, Prashant, and some of the others. And I really like the table topics master guy. I think he's really
You're not Paniker, yeah, from Dubai. He's the member.
Vinod.
Mhm.
Really, he's cutting edge. Like
He's pretty experienced, yeah. He's the
he's
VP
above
of
average.
education in his club. Very, very nicely done.
But he has a presence on
Mhm.
Zoom.
Yeah.
Like you can see his character, you can feel his character, his personality. Like he's not just there to spend time; he's there for a good time, and he comes across that way. And that's special. That's a guy I would utilize a lot. As a core member.
Mhm.
He's got zip.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Excellent. Because as usual, we have some members are great, except that they don't know how to be self-directed yet in a brand new club because they're just trying to feel their way through this. But within the next couple of weeks, they will really get it, and then we'll be pretty good. So.
Well, so Jackie Payne now is regional advisor. Isn't there someone else in a different district? There's got to be somebody else in a different district that's got a competent leader.
But Tony, between you and me, there were two people running for it, Avis and Jacqueline. So.
Well, I would prefer Jacqueline over Avis. Anytime Avis. Anyway, I don't want to go there. I don't want to speak negative. Jacqueline, I'll just simply ignore. She's not even in our district. It doesn't cover our district, thank goodness. The second worst district governor director we ever had, and she's a regional advisor. What's she's going to advise? She's a totally useless piece of shit.
So you said the second most useless. Who was the first most useless?
Christina. There's no competition. No competition. Christina.
Okay.
I mean, I got lint in my laundry tub. There'll be a better district director.
Right.
Christina wouldn't shut up and listen.
Yeah.
Blame Vitali for her problems. I say Jocelyn did it
Blame
pretty.
somebody for your problems.
Oh yeah, I'd say Jocelyn did a pretty. Jocelyn did a pretty decent job in turning things around, but her big, it's easy for me to judge, right? But her big problem was Carolyn Hoxie. If she did not have Carolyn Hoxie,
the problem with the Jocelyn is that she was surrounded by these people, right? And so, what choice did she have, right? When she was surrounded by all these incompetent people.
I was surrounded, and I got rid of 9 people.
Yeah, the thing with Jocelyn is that she's not assertive that way. So she goes along with whatever there is.
Yeah, it's too bad.
And I noticed that at the club level, even if things are breaking down, she won't put up her hand and correct it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but
and
the jury's still out on Myrna, but Myrna's legacy is going to be how she was biased, and to me, her legacy always will be how she has absolutely failed as a fair person to you. Absolutely. No question.
Well, to begin with, I act different, I do things very, very differently. So right from the beginning, she had a bit of a difficulty because I don't fall into your normal, yes or no, sir. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not in my speech today, I'm not even a strategist. I'm not even, operational. I'm more of, personal mastery, which is really going in within and seeing the results I can produce outside of the box. So, and all these people are operational. They meet and that they're all operational. They're not thinking, forward or why we need to do what we need to do. So I don't fit into that box. And so she had difficulty, and she still has difficulty. And I have difficulty with all of them, everyone, district officers in their district.
Yeah.
Because most of the things they're doing are useless. They don't add anything to the district. Like the program, the PRM, Nancy Moran would come and say, today we had so many clicks, and on LinkedIn we had 500 clicks, and people are visiting our website, but so what? Fuck it, but what about the results? We want to build clubs and build members. We are not growing, we're shrinking. I don't care how many clicks you have.
It actually is going to be part of my speech next week on the club building. Is the sustainability. Like, you make it work. It's like, well, part of your presentation. You analyze, and then you put the plan into work, and you make it work, and then you bring people on board. They don't talk in those terms.
No.
Because they don't know. And they don't. And the thing, Bram, they never will know. They'll never get it. Because they're not spring chickens. They're not young people. They don't understand by now. They never will. A lot of these people are good maybe as a number 2 or number 3 in an organization, where they will follow if there's a visionary leader or someone who's
they're good. They may be good managers, but they are not really leaders as such. They're managers.
They're bureaucrats.
Give them a checklist, they'll be happy.
They're administrators or whatever, but if there's someone there who's a good leader, who's strong, then those people, the best will come out in them, but they never can do it on their own.
Yeah, correct.
We see that all the time. Yeah. Well, speaking about leaders, I better do my laundry.
And I better go and eat. I haven't eaten anything all day, so.
Oh well, what are you gonna have? What are you gonna have for breakfast or lunch or whatever?
I'm going to have eggs and hash browns.
Oh, that's all right. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Tony. I'll
Take
speak
care.
to you later.
Bye.
Take care.